Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another episode. Welcome back to episode 19 of season 2. On today's episode, we're going to be doing a Celta preview. Barcelona played tonight against Celta de Vigo at home. This is an important game to regain confidence after the disappointing game against Inter. Let me introduce my co-host Alvaro.
What's up,
Alex.
guys? How we doing?
Alex. So I don't know. What do you think of this upcoming match?
I mean, we definitely can't repeat what happened last season when we were away. We blew that 3-1 lead. That definitely can't
Uh,
happen. But I think almost for Xavi's sake, ahead of the Inter game, um, it should be a good game. But this team is way different to last year's team, and nothing. I'm excited for it, but I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting
expecting
this.
okay.
I
No,
I, I expect this team not to be distracted with the Inter game. They gotta take it one game at a time. But I expect them to play good football and just even if it's a 1-0 win, take the 3 points and move on to Inter.
no, yeah. What we need right now is to play this game and regain confidence. Because you saw in the Inter game, we didn't play well. That was one of the worst performances under Xavi, and we need to bounce back. We need to regain confidence because next week on Wednesday we have a vital game. I think that's our first final of the season. Because we win that, it's a massive boost because we have to remember next weekend is El Clasico, and we cannot go into El Clasico with low confidence. And on top of that, we play a lot on the line. There's a lot on stake
Hmm.
because we're playing our UCL qualification into the knockouts. If we don't win against Inter, we're basically going into the Europa, and that's going to be a catastrophe if that happens. So tonight, I expect Barcelona to go full throttle, but at the same time, I don't know if Xavi's going to make rotations. Do you think Xavi's going to make rotations ahead of the game?
I mean, getting a little bit ahead of you. We were talking before the stream that Frankie, he's gonna be getting the green light and he's gonna be
Yeah.
available. Um, First of all, before continuing, what do you expect the midfield to be? The starting midfield.
The midfield, but I think Pedri's going to be rested. I think Pedri's going to be rested. I think it's probably going to be Gavi and Frankie who are going to be starting.
Yeah, and then I expect maybe I don't know. I can't really think of another midfielder that we could throw in there, but I
Well,
don't.
we have Pablo Torres.
That's what I expect. I expect Torres to maybe pick up for Frankie in like the 60th minute or so.
Yeah,
Just for
yeah.
Frankie.
He's
And
definitely going to
also
get minutes.
maybe also expect Busquets to be sat down. I'm not sure for who yet, but maybe they give him a little bit of a rest ahead of Wednesday's game. Um, Aside from that, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the defense they don't have much of an option to rest the defense. So unless
No.
someone rest one of our fullbacks and put your Diaba in, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I do expect. I wouldn't be surprised if your Diaba plays today, just to maybe rest Alonso or Balde or whoever they want to rest. I mean,
Hmm.
not rest them, but maybe like give them like 30 minutes of the end of the game to rest. But aside from that, I mean, we don't have options at center back, so
Yeah, we don't have options at center back. I think the
I,
most
I could
likely.
I could see Dembele starting or Dembele Rafinha starting, and then the other one taking up for them in
Mm,
like the 60th minute or so. Yeah, those are my predictions. I don't really expect much else to be done.
okay, okay. No, because Barcelona recently they called up a Barca athletic center back. His name is Chadi Riyad. He's a lot of people say that he's like very similar to Araujo, and there was some speculation that he was going to start this game. But I highly doubt it. I think if he does, if he's gonna play in this game, he's gonna receive minutes off the bench, for example, maybe 20, 15 minutes towards the end of the game if we're winning. Because we have to remember we only have two center backs left. If
Right.
either of them get injured, we're gonna have to improvise, and we do not want to improvise against Real Madrid or like in during this month where we play such important
Hon-
matches.
Honestly, I hope if that youngster starts over PK, that that shows you all you need to know about
Yeah,
Xavi's tactics.
I think if he starts over PK or anyone, it's a huge blow. Um, it's gonna be very tough for the player who sat down to like regain any confidence.
Yeah, no, I mean that I do expect Piqué to start. We'll see how he does. What scares me is that Piqué's should will most likely be our starter for the Inter game, and that's a guy that hasn't had many minutes under his belt all season. But I mean, we just gotta hope for the best at this point. We gotta
No,
hope
no,
for
that is a good point.
we gotta hope
Just
for the offense to completely carry
mhm.
us.
And it's gonna be tough because Inter are gonna be parking the bus. But looking on into this game, PK, yeah, PK is the type of player who needs minutes regularly, to be at the very highest level. And we have to remember last season, PK didn't play a very bad. Like he was one of our best defenders when
Yeah, yeah,
Araujo
for
was
sure.
out. So I do PK is going to start this game. The only thing that worries me is Iago Aspas. Iago Aspas against
Yeah,
Barcelona, he turns into like prime Messi, bro.
and that's when we
Um,
need. That's when we need Garcia to really take
yeah,
control of the defense. And
yeah. And then in last season we when they came back from the 3-0, Iago Aspas picked up 3 assists during that game. Iago Aspas against Barcelona just like is crazy. So we're gonna need Barcelona to be on their game, and this is like key because when Ter Stegen has only conceded 1 goal in La Liga so far. Um, we're gonna see if that streak continues. But let's go on to the lineups. We briefly talked about it a little bit before. What do you think the lineup is gonna be?
honestly, I do expect.
Going from like the goalkeeper all the way to
I
the
mean, I
offense.
don't think there's any doubt Ter Stegen's gonna start. He's not the
Mm-hmm.
type of guy that needs rest between those two games. Um, for the win for the fullbacks, it's interesting because I do expect Sahila to play today, but I wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
surprised if they play Balde since I know for a fact they're not gonna trust him at right back for Inter. Maybe they start him today at right back and they play Alonso at left back. But whatever the case is for the fullbacks, I do expect your Diablo to play today for the
Mm-hmm.
simple fact that I don't think that they trust him for the Inter game.
Okay.
So I do expect to play. The middle, the center backs, it should be Garcia and Piqué, unless Xavi pulls a wild card and starts the youngster
Yeah.
Shaddy as center back. But whatever the case is, Garcia is gonna start. Piqué's the question mark. The midfield, like we were talking, it should be Busquets, Gavi, and the young.
Okay.
The young probably getting subbed out pretty early on, and then Busquets.
Okay.
Maybe if it comes like 3-0, maybe they just like rest Busquets and the young together.
Mm-hmm.
And for the attack, it's either Dembele or Rafinha on the right. There's really
Mm-hmm.
no question about that. Chavez already mentioned it. The striker Lewandowski, he needs to give us some cushion today.
Yeah.
And on the left wing, what do you think? I feel like it would be Fati starting, but maybe they give Fati like 50 minutes or so just to make sure that he can play a full 90 or 80 against Inter, and they play
Mm-hmm.
Varane most of the second half.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna start from the top, going all the way back to the defense. I think it's actually going to be Rafinha starting on the right. I
Yeah,
think Dembele did not have a great game. Um, I think this is like a perfect chance to say, hey, Dembele, you've been playing a lot of games recently. Let's take you out of the firing lines a little bit. Let's have you rest ahead of a crucial game. Let's give Rafinha a run out on his preferred right wing. I think Lewandowski is going to start up top. I think we are going to see a change on the left wing. I don't think it's going to be Rafinha. I think it's going to be Ansu Fati. I think he's going to get a start because when you see Xavi's choices, he's often the fourth choice forward. It's Lewandowski, Usman Dembele, and Rafinha. I think that's the order in which the forwards are at. Moving on to midfield, I did mention that I think he's gonna either rest Pedri or Busquets. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Pedri, Frankie De Jong in that pivot role, and Gavi on the right as the right interior. But I wouldn't be surprised either if Gavi is the one who is rested and Frankie De Jong is brought into the midfield. Um, because we have to remember that Frankie De Jong he's been out for the last 2 weeks. I don't know if Xavi wants to start him and like have him have 60 minutes under his belt or start a full match. We have to see how match fit he is. Moving on to the defense, I would because I'm also like looking ahead on like in the Inter game. I would start Balde at left back. I would put Eric Garcia, Pique, and Sergio Roberto and Ter Stegen. That's my
Right,
defense.
right.
Um, I would make sure Balde has a good run out, and around the 60th minute mark, the 60th minute mark, I would take out Balde for example Jordi Alba, just to keep him fresh. Just because like I want Balde to have that run out because he's going to be the one starting against Inter. I think that's how it should be.
Going back to the midfield they were talking about it. Because I'm looking at at the bench, the substitutes for the Mallorca game last week,
Hmm.
and I'm trying to see like 'cause it should be pretty similar to how it's gonna be today. Um, what do you think are the chances that Pablo Torres starts today?
Oh,
I
I don't think he's gonna start. I don't think he's gonna start. But I do think he's definitely gonna get some minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 15, 20 minutes. For example, like towards the end of the game when we want to rotate. If we're winning, of course. If the game isn't tight, I definitely think that he's gonna get some minutes. And he's very similar to Pedri in that aspect. Just the competition is so high that's why he's not getting any minutes.
Yeah,
Um,
and I said that because who knows, maybe he plays like 50. If the possibility of him starting is real, maybe he could start 50 minutes and then like Frankie
mhm.
takes the load after that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't have many options to sub out to rest both the young and Gavi. We
No,
really
we don't. No, we don't because Kessie's injured, and just now when you realize that hey, our options in midfield are very small.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I can't think of anybody else that we can have sub in the midfield. I mean, unless we change the formation mid game, with our only option is Pablo Tote, and
Yeah,
that's I mean,
yeah. Well, an option would be, for example, if Bellerin was fit, was to have Bellerin at right back and move Sergio Roberto in midfield.
right, say yeah, that's true.
That's an option that we have.
That's true.
But to round off, what are your predictions for tonight's game?
Score wise,
Yeah, score wise.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised in a 2-0 or 3-1.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
I am actually going to go for a 4-1 Barcelona win. I think we are going to
The
concede.
Xavi 4.
Yeah, I think that we are going to bounce back with a 4 goal win, but I do think Iago Aspas is going to score. I think there's going to be like a chance, a counter attack or something.
Nah, and even if it's not Yago, like our defense is weak right now. I feel like
Yeah, exactly. Our defense
they
isn't as strong,
I feel like
especially
they
with the
find I
absences.
feel like maybe they abuse Piquet's side since he's definitely not
Hmm.
as quick as Garcia, and maybe we can see one. But for the most part, I think that should be a pretty dominant match from our side. I do
It should be.
I do expect Lewandowski to play a big role. I mean, he has to give us some hope for the Inter match, and there's really no better way than him as maybe scoring a brace or at least giving us one goal. And honestly, I'm not even that worried, and maybe that's not the right thing to say, but I'm not that worried for today's game. I'm more worried about the Inter game, and
Yeah.
that shouldn't be the case for the Barca players. That they shouldn't just like say fuck it and not really care much about this game. Every point counts, especially when Madrid tied last weekend. But I mean, nothing, man. Just keep that mentality of moving forward. Get today's win that many of us see as a win,
Hmm.
and just get ready for our first final of the year, like you said.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But guys, that was it for today's episode. We're gonna be coming back later tonight with a post-match reaction regarding the game. Let us know your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree with anything that we said. As always, like, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you guys all on tonight's episode.
Bye, guys.